How do you feel about back-end loaded guidance?
Probably
not very good.
No, not good at all. I mean, think about that and contrast that with the Federal Reserve tomorrow, Melissa. So what is the Fed likely to tell us? Chair Powell is going to say, we just don't know. And if we don't know, why should we act? So it's really flipping it around. Corporates seem more confident, at least given Christina's comments. The Fed, I think, will be much less confident tomorrow.
You know, but I am interested to see, like, why, again, Marvell postponing a June 10th date, AMD being able to give guidance for a quarter. I mean, it's a tale of two cities right now. And I think, listen, AMD's been awful. We've actually talked about it. We've been pretty critical. But in my opinion, this quarter and the guidance is enough at least to get it back to the March high with, if you pull up a chart, was about 115.
Yeah, the Marvell thing is not great for a couple of reasons. Like, one of the, I guess, you know, headwinds to NVIDIA would be this custom silicon, right? The fact that Microsoft and, you know, these major hyperscalers, AWS, Google Cloud, they're working with, you know, companies like Broadcom and Marvell to create their own chips. We know that Google has their TPUs, this tensor processing unit, right? So going forward, you know, NVIDIA is going to have more competition. If AMD were ever to get their act together, if the performance of some of their chips are matching that of NVIDIA, and then they can compete on price a little bit because they're trying to take some market share back, you know, a lot of things point to some headwinds as it relates to NVIDIA. We say this every quarter. We've done it for the last 2 years. You know, this is going to be a really important event for this AI trade. I just think there's been very few good headlines for NVIDIA, so they're going to have to put up a big beat and raise, I think, for this stock to keep going or kind of reverse the course lower to, you know, get back towards this highs.
Well, let's take a listen to what Jensen Huang had to say about China's AI market earlier today on Power Lunch.
China is a very large market. It's probably going to be a $50 billion AI market in a couple of 2-3 years. It would be a tremendous loss not to be able to address it as an American company. It's going to bring back revenues, it's going to bring back taxes, it's going to create lots of jobs here in the United States.
And that really underscores the point that they don't know. Because if it's going to be a huge market and be a huge loss for companies like NVIDIA to not participate in that growing China market, then export restrictions now will certainly hit them sooner rather than later.
No question about it. I mean, I think he's been trying to sort of curry some favor with this administration. It all sort of makes sense. And listen, as a CEO of a publicly traded company, you have a fiduciary responsibility to do exactly that. The question is, you know, are they in the crosshairs right now? I will tell you, and Christina just mentioned in terms of the SMH, I mean, this is a space that is not traded particularly well. You've seen bounces along the way, but, you know, NVIDIA at 113, yes, it's bounced off the lows, but since January, it's not been a particularly good stock.
These export controls, they're not about chat apps or picture apps or this and that, whatever, making them better. They're about, like, sovereign AI. They're about, like, the very issues that we think about when it comes to investing in defense and the like. So if we're going to ship our best technology to China and we're going to actually be in the midst of a trade war, it just doesn't make any sense. So Jensen, go to Mar-a-Lago as much as you want to try to curry favor. At the end of the day, you know, there's more important things that are basically going to kind of have to take hold of this industry pretty soon, whether it's a year or two. And we've been talking about this. There's going to be considerable regulatory oversight of this industry. It needs to happen for all the reasons we're talking about, really from a national security standpoint.
Yeah, it's hard to make the case with just massive tariffs on China that the administration's tone is going to shift anytime soon. We're not getting any sense of that. Are they actually talking to China? We don't know. Bessent said, well, sort of, maybe, kind of, not clear. So what's the time frame? Don't know. What's the outcome? Probably not good.